Welcome everyone to a land battle showdown between Samarek as Khorne going up against Beast and Grand Cathay. Now we're going to be playing on the Ogre Mountains with a very interesting build here coming from Grand Cathay. So starting on the left hand side, one unit of the Peasant Horsemen in the trees. It looks like they're going to be protecting the left hand flank and a little bit of a gap here that has been left by the infantry. 4 units of the Jade Warrior Halberds in the front, very heavily armoured, good anti-large and armour piercing, with 1 here in the back right. So 5 units of range, 2 units of the Peasant Archers, and 3 units of the Elite Celestial Dragon Crossbows. These bad boys are ready to go in their beautiful gold, 95 armour with those bronze shields, making them rather tanky indeed. Plus they're also going to have 160 range with 31 armour piercing missile strength. Now that can increase there with the Battle Harmony of Yin. That can actually go up to 24 reload skill and plus 12 leadership, which can be very handy there in the middle. So the Astromancer is going to be in the back here on a Wuxing War Compass, here with the Cloak of Po Mi, as well as the Celestial Silk Robe. We're going to be having the ability of the Rolling Skies, the Nexus of Element Winds, the Mastery of Element Winds, and 5 spells. So the Orion's Thunderbolt, as well as the Comet of Cassandora, the Chain Lightning, as well as the bound abilities of the Celestial Comet and the Celestial Lightning. So you get 2 uses there, coming in at 115% intensity. The Lord of Yin in the sky, he's going to be on a Great Longmar, here with the Arcane Conduit, as well as the Jade Amulet, the Will of the Dragons, and the Power of Yin. And lots of spells here, the Ancestral Warriors, the Blossom Wind, as well as the Cloak of Jet, the Talent of the Night, and the Scales of the Celestial Chords. Now, what's my thoughts and opinions on this build so far? Some things I want to say to Beast here. One thing, we got some very, very expensive range here in the middle, and not much infantry to protect it. A lot of spells coming on 2 casters. It's quite a lot to invest. I think here you're going to have a Winds of Magic coming out of your Lord Choice, and then also Winds of Magic coming out of your Astromancer. So you probably just want to use the free spells there, and then, you know, pretty much have the bonuses you're going to get from the extra of the Mastery of Element Wind. So what I would say here is probably save up on some of the spells, probably get rid of some of the Peasant Archers, and maybe come in with some more Peasant Long Spearmen, or maybe some Sword and Shield of the Jade Warriors. Just really thicken that front line. I could really see this build kind of, you know, struggling to protect itself. Over here on the right-hand side of the battlefield, we are going to have 2 Fleshhounds of Khorne ready to reap havoc in the back line here. 2 more on the left-hand side as well, looking rather strong, and they're going to be hiding in the trees. So expert stuff here coming out of Samarek. For the front line, we are going to have the Warriors of Khorne with the Halberds, 2 units, make that 3 in total. And then it looks like 5 units of the anti-infantry armor-piercing bloodletters. Now we need something to really shred through these bad boys nice and quickly, but of course they do pay for physical resistance. So if you don't have magic damage, it can be a bit of a nightmare here to get through that armor and physical resistance. AP is not going to help too much, really help here up against the Halberds as they also have no shields, but then we're also going to be having the Herald Khorne on foot, which I think is a very cost-efficient pick. He's going to be having the Revel in Slaughter, which I believe actually got buffed up to from 5 up to 8 melee attack. The Hellblade, and the Locust of Wrath. We are going to have the Cultists of Khorne on foot, my favourite pick there, also with the Gate of Khorne. Very strong pick here. I think maybe a few units you could substitute, but I still think very powerful build. I think the Halberds probably could get downgraded to the shielded variant. You have those in the middle, you have your Bloodletters on the outside that kind of collapse in and on the build, but you can see here, one thing I do like from Mr. Beast is we are going to be having the double mountains here on either side, so we can kind of, you know, hone in our opponent and force them to attack the front of the build. So perhaps you can get away with a little bit less infantry here, but the problem is going to be is the summons of the Cultist. You need to have something that's going to keep the Cultist out of the way, preventing him from getting into the backside and, you know, spreading all of those summon units into the front. Now we should have seen the Fleshhounds come around the left hand side, but we have moved the Halberds, which means that the Celestial Dragon Crossbow are going to be available for picking. We have to come really far. I actually don't think we can get around the back here. No, we can't. So these Fleshhounds are going to have to wait, and now they're actually going to be fighting in the trees up against the Peasant Horsemen. I think taking this engagement, not good for the Horsemen. We have good physical resistance for the Fleshhounds. We have good weapon strength. They're really going to shred nice and quickly through the Peasant Horsemen. You wanted to use these as a blockade, and then also have the Peasant Archers shooting over the top. Here, they're isolated, they're weaker, they're going to fall pretty quickly. Now, they do break. We actually have 95 speed for the Fleshhounds, only 90 speed there for the Peasant Horsemen. The front line is coming down. We do actually have Fleshhounds waiting. I think this is perfect. Hold them in the back. Just get them waiting until that front line engages. When that's engaged, all the range is firing at the front. You then compromise with all of the Fleshhounds of Khorne. Now, we are going to be something in the front. I think here this is a little bit illegal from the Grand Cathay build. If we go on the current rules of land battles, you do have to engage. You do need to go forward, meaning that your unit here has broken. We are going to have archers firing in, so we're sort of dabbling on the line there of just about obeying the attacking rules. But we do get a summon in the front here. We are going to get the legendary ancestral warriors here, the stormy men of old, fighting up against Bloodletters, and then the Khornite halberds. It's going to be halberd on halberd action here, but of course these bad boys do have mass of the physical resistance, 75% here to be specific, and they're going to do very well up against the Khorne halberds. They will struggle though up against the magic damaging Bloodletters of Khorne. So the Khorne warriors going to be charging into the front line. The cultist is here just waiting for that summon to get into the backside. Fleshhounds are now going to be charged down. Should probably get one on either of the dragon crossbows and then summon onto this more frontal unit of dragons. So firing up and amongst the Bloodletters, doing some pretty good damage. It looks like it is going to be a spell here. Maybe a Celestial Lightning here, or a Comet of Cassandora perhaps, coming down on the Bloodletters. Can't quite see. Looks like it might be a Comet. Yes, it is going to be a Comet, and not too much damage outside of that. So we do get Bloodletters in the pocket, so it's going to be a nice hammer and anvil tactic. The anvil here being the nice Fleshhounds of Khorne, and the big juicy hammer being the Bloodletters. They're going to really crump into the backside here of the Celestial Dragon crossbows. These bad boys do have okay stats, but you know, they're not amazing in melee combat. So we do see someone in the middle. We are going to get some more Stormy boys. They're going to be summoned to the backside here. They are anti-large, so they can deal here with the Fleshhounds quite abruptly. And it looks like, yeah, more and more of the Fleshhounds here. Of course, that right-hand side has been opened now. So we're just going to be pouring more and more Fleshhounds into the backside, really breaking down these archers and elite dragon crossbows. Over on the left-hand side, Jade Warrior Halberds fighting up against the Khornite Halberds. Khornite Halberds will be having better melee stats, and we're not going to be getting any bonuses here from Yang. So sadly, it looks like the majority of the front line is going to be falling. Halberds beating back here on the halberds of Cathay. And now we're going to get the heavily armor-piercing Bloodletters in and amongst the Astromancer. They're going to have enough AP. No, it looks like they're going to be completely ignoring him, and I don't blame them actually. Just taking off these peasant archers is going to be rather smart, but we should have enough AP here for the Bloodletters to take care of the Astromancer, even with 80 armor. In the back here, the Stormy boys, they're going to be doing quite well, but you know, they are going to be trying to help the Celestial Dragon crossbows where they can. You're going to see they're going to be, you know, kind of engaged in melee combat, so they're not going to be having their crossbows out, you know, too much here. The Fleshhounds have done rather well. Here the Khorne going to be fighting. He's just going to be slicing and dicing here with his magic damage up against the Ancestral Warriors. He's going to be up to 22 kills so far, 80 there to pop that ability of the Hellblade. And it looks like here the cultists just need to get a little bit more active here on the battlefield. Now we do see these Celestial Dragon crossbows still going to be getting kind of pushed down by the Fleshhounds, just taking out as many models as possible. They are actually going to get the Harmony buffs. They're going to be at 0 leadership, so they perhaps could return here in the later stage. But we're just going to be feasting on them with Bloodletters and Fleshhounds and all the good Khorne juicy bits that we have here on the battlefield. We are going to get a Celestial Lightning over on the right-hand side. In the back, cleaning up the Dragon crossbows. And it looks like we do get a return here of the Peasant Archers. Not too much to write home about. The Peasant Horsemen here and the Halberds should be able to be cleaned up. But it looks like here it's just going to be the Astromancer against the world. Where is the Lord Choice, though, is the question. The Lord Choice is going to be fighting in the front here and not doing too well. Fighting here up against Halberds, which is a nightmare situation for the Lord of Yen, especially on the Longmar. They're going to be breaking. That's going to be army losses. GG's, and well played here to Khorne and Zamorak. Very interesting fight here, something I really want to talk about Grand Cathay. I see this from quite a few newer players where they really go heavy on the range. And that's not the only way to win. You've got some very expensive range here that's going to do some pretty decent damage. The one thing I would say is, you know, 3 of these is more than enough. They actually got quite a few chevrons with not too much damage dealt. So I would suggest that most of these chevrons were bought previously to the battle. 1,300 for the Astromancer. I think actually double Astromancer or even just double Wuxing War Compass is pretty good on the battlefield, I must say so. Double Wuxing War Compass plus then also a Lord Choice. You know, you're going to really stacking up those free spells you get that don't cost any Winds of Magic up to 130% intensity. And then also, I think here, Halberds do quite nicely. Crossbows do well, but you need more infantry. I think dropping the Peasant Long Spearmen bring in Peasant Long Spearmen, drop in the Peasant Horsemen, the Peasant Archers would be quite nice. Dropping these 3 plus maybe a couple of spells could have got yourself 5 units of the Peasant Long Spearmen in the backside there to protect up against the Flesh Hounds, and then keep the Celestial Dragon Crossbows firing in the front line. That probably would be something that I would suggest in the future here for Mr. Beast. So for his stats, 88 there for the Lord Choice, 1,300 for the Astromancer, 400, 500, and 800 there for the Crossbows, with 260, 370, 150, 230, and 305. 240, 200, and 260 there for the Peasant contingent. For the Lord Choice for the Herald of Khorne, we got 530, 470 there for the Cultist, with 500, 450, 500, and 2,070 there from the Halberds of Khorne, which is incredibly powerful. 62, 900, 425, 125, and 600, with 550, 500, 760, and 1,050. So the Flesh Hound's doing very well overall. Now, Samaric's question was, only 3 of my units pay for themselves. Well, the reason that was, my friend, is the fact that, of course, army losses kicked in, so you didn't actually get full value on the battlefield. It was really well spread across your army. And then also there was quite a few units that shattered and broke off that you didn't actually get the remaining of that value of. So that'd be why only 3 of your units paid for themselves. But otherwise, they did very, very well. It's quite a convincing win. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, please smash that like button. Feel free to leave a comment down below and subscribe if you haven't already. I've been your boy Logic. Take care of yourselves. See you soon.